Okay, welcome to Luminousz Star Channel. All of my current subscribers, mwah, you already know how special you are to me. Thank you so much for keeping me passionate about keeping the Luminousz Star Channel active. And we are allowing ourselves to thrive forward by encouraging one another with the stories that we share about the aftermath of narcissistic abuse. And if this is your first time visiting, welcome to Luminousz Star. Should you become a part of our Star family, we say welcome. And of course, don't forget to click the notification bell once you do subscribe. This way, when I go on live, you will also be able to join me, okay? And all of you, my current subscribers, don't forget to click the notification bell. That way, when everything is uploaded, when all of the videos are uploaded and all of the vlogs are out, you'll be the first to know. I would not want you all to miss anything on the Luminousz Star channel. Okay, today's video, when narcissists pull shenanigans, balance authenticity with positivity. Okay, now I want to say that this is something that's very tough to do, but it's very much the game changer. And I'm speaking from personal experience. Okay, it's not always easy to be positive. So this is our first point. It can be very challenging to be positive around those who have a narcissistic personality disorder. However, using balance might prove to be a game changer. By allowing authenticity rather than forcing positive feelings, one can learn how to let go of being in a state of resistance, which causes stress. Okay, so when we're forcing ourselves, right, to be positive, yeah, it can be pretty stressful just to do that because we're not really being for real. Okay? So when you force positivity, that means that you're really not taking the time out to express what you have experienced or what you are experiencing. What are you experiencing? The narcissist pulling all types of shenanigans. What are you experiencing? Possibly catching them red-handed in a lie. They're engaged in all types of diabolical tactics just to get you to narcissistically supply him or her or them. So when you force yourself to be positive, yeah, you're putting yourself under a lot of stress, especially emotional stress, because you are emotionally invested in the narcissist or the cluster personality. Now, this doesn't make you a bad person. However, the narcissist wants you to feel and or think you are a bad person, especially when you want to express anger, especially when you want to express that you are disappointed or displeased with him or her for some sort of reason. Okay, it could be because you caught them red-handed in a lie, because you have heard some things about yourself that are not true, because they have been gossiping. Maybe they have been spreading rumors about you, and this is the smear campaigning. Maybe they have been character assassinating you, and you found out. One of the things to keep in mind is that the cluster B personality and the narcissist, they have a personality disorder, so they're not even thinking clearly when they're doing these things. That this is not making an excuse for them. I just want to put into context for you how intense the crazy making can get when the narcissist and the cluster B personality starts to pull shenanigans. Okay, so it's very difficult. It's quite a challenge to remember that he or she has a personality disorder that is fixed. So it's very unlikely that he or she is going to see the light. You know, they're not going to change. They're not going to get that moment of clarity, whereas they will change their actions. Now, believe it or not, narcissists and cluster B personalities, they can have those moments of clarity. They just don't heed them. They tend to push them away. They lack foresight. They don't tend to learn from their mistakes. They tend to think that they're perfect and that they really don't make mistakes. So it is hard to stay positive. It is hard to stay focused. However, it is not impossible. It's a game changer when you balance authenticity with being positive rather than trying to force yourself to be positive. Okay, when they start pulling those shenanigans, no, it's very hard to stay, happy and to feel and think positive things. It is very important to express what you have experienced in a constructive manner and within an environment that is emotionally stable or emotionally safe for you. with people who have already demonstrated that they are trustworthy. Let's move on to the next point. While under toxic amounts of stress, the health of an individual can become compromised. Narcissists and or cluster B personalities often prey upon those who have a history of health issues, trauma, and stress, yet demonstrate extraordinary strength and high achievement ability. So if you are a high achiever and you have extraordinary, amounts of strength, and you may be a person who's courageous and, you have so many awesome characteristics, right? The narcissist and the cluster B personality, they're not sleeping on that. In other words, they know you have star power. They see your shine. The issue is that he or she is trying to put your light out. They're trying to make sure that you stay in the sunken place, that you are downtrodden. They like to see you in that condition because it gives them a sense of control. And it also gives them the fuel and the narcissistic supply that they are addicted to. Narcissists and cluster B personalities are addicted to people. Okay, they use people like drugs. They maneuver people like game pieces on a game board. This is something that is very hard to stay focused on or to remember, especially when we are feeling emotional, when we're angry, when we're upset about the shenanigan pulling. This is very natural. This is understandable. I just want to remind everyone in this video that it is important to keep in mind that the narcissist and the cluster B personality has a personality disorder that is fixed. Okay, so it is very unlikely, there's a slim chance to none that he or she is going to wake up and see the light and change. So while you're under a lot of stress, it is very hard to remember this. I know it. Most of us, we tend to, when we're under a lot of stress, we tend to not be able to focus a lot. So don't worry, okay? So while under a toxic amount of stress, yes, your health will be compromised. Make no mistake, a lot of you are already feeling the weight, or the stress due to dealing with a narcissist and a cluster B personality. I was there. I used to have certain health issues. My health is better today because I started to incorporate in my support base a healthier lifestyle. There were moments in my life due to dealing with certain cluster B personalities that my health started to be compromised. Your focus is on the narcissist and the shenanigans and the crazy making, and you're feeling the effects. You may be trying to get your career off the ground. The new information, this is another example of new information that's coming to you. You may have to study to brush up your skills to maintain your career or to get that promotion on the job, to make sure your career takes off. Yet you're not able to focus on that because of the shenanigans of the narcissist. That's where your focal point is. That's what you're focused on. The shenanigans, the aftermath of having a dysfunctional relationship with a narcissist and cluster B personality. You're going through the emotions. Your thoughts are not as positive. So you're not able to receive the new information, whereas you can achieve the goal of getting your career off the ground. I'm not saying that the narcissist and cluster B personality is the main reason why your career is not getting off the ground. I just want to put this into context that this is one way that your health is being compromised because you're being consumed by the dysfunctional relationship with a narcissist and cluster B personality and its aftermath. Let's move forward. Many are advised to be positive. However, by emotionally investing in dysfunctional relationship with narcissists and or cluster B personalities, it is only a matter of time before one begins to feel the adverse effects of their reality. One way to be authentic is to express what you are currently experiencing or what you have experienced. Okay, so when you are expressing what you have experienced or what you are experiencing, you are reducing stress. Not only are you being authentic or being for real, you are also being positive. Because when we think about being positive, we think about somebody smiling and maybe whistling and maybe having their heads, all in the clouds and they're just strolling along, right? This is not the only way to be positive. Another way to be positive is to be authentic, is to be for real. If you're angry, express it in a constructive way. You're being positive. If you are facing or you're dealing with the shenanigan pulling and the diabolical tactics, such as being gaslit by a narcissist or a cluster personality, the way you can be positive in all of that is to express what you have experienced. It doesn't feel too good. So you're being authentic. You're expressing it. You're being for real. You're not forcing yourself to be positive. That's not being for real. So when a person starts to feel the adverse effects of their reality, again, one way to be positive is to express what they are experiencing in a constructive manner. This is where your support base comes in. Your support base is designed to teach you some tools that are very effective to help you to constructively cope with your reality, whatever that may be, whatever your situation is, whatever your circumstances are that may be causing you to be unhappy or not feeling very joyful at the moment. You know, you're sad, you may be having crying spells, all these things, right? This is normal, this is natural. Pardon me, this is natural. This is to be expected. You're a human being having a human experience. I'm a human being having a human experience. So from time to time, even though, you know, we may be happy people, there are going to be moments where we're not going to be feeling so positive because we need to express that sadness. We need to express that displeasure or disappointment. That's being positive when you're being for real, when you're expressing what you have experienced or what you are experiencing. So that's just another, hopefully a fresh way or another perspective on positivity. Because when we think about being positive, most of us, we think about somebody who's whistling, you know, they may be smiling, they may be laughing, they may have their heads, you know, all up in the clouds, right? No matter what the chaos is around them, they're just in this bliss, they're in this bubble. Well, that's not always a picture of positivity. Sometimes the picture of positivity is when you are expressing what you have experienced, you know, due to the chaos that's around you, due to the shenanigans, due to the diabolical tactics of the narcissist and cluster personality. This is someone who's trying to weigh you down. This is someone who gets off on putting you down. So you're in a sunken place. Okay, so again, that's just another fresh way of looking at what positivity is. Positivity is when you are being authentic. So balance being authentic with being positive simply by expressing what you have experienced. Let's move forward. Facing reality about the quality of the relationship with the narcissist and or cluster personality can place a lot of things into a clearer perspective. When unpleasant emotions and thoughts arise due to the narcissist pulling shenanigans, one might be apprehensive about expressing themselves. Okay, so this is what the narcissist and cluster personality hopes. They hope that you feel so uncomfortable about expressing what you have experienced that you will feel ashamed, if not guilty, about it. You will just take it all in and you will suffer in silence. This is what the narcissist and cluster personality is hoping that you do. They're counting on that. So when they start pulling shenanigans, you're like a person who is co-signing it. You're enabling it. This doesn't make you at fault for what they choose to do. So when you are challenging the narcissist and cluster personality in a positive way, what you're doing is you're not being an enabler. You are expressing what you have experienced. That's how you discontinue being an enabler. That's how you make sure you're not an enabler of a narcissist and cluster personality, because you are expressing what you are experiencing. You're choosing not to suffer in silence. See, the narcissist and the cluster personality, they don't feel threatened or challenged when people are suffering in silence. In other words, they're not expressing what they have experienced. All of the shenanigan pulling, all of the diabolical tactics from narcissists apply. See, when a person is choosing to go off in their corner and just suffer in silence, that's no challenge or threat to the false self-images of narcissists and cluster personalities. That's no threat. That's no challenge. So therefore, they're not going to feel like they have to change. They're not going to take a second look at their actions. They're not going to think twice about speaking those negative and toxic words or cursing people. They're not going to think about it because they're not being challenged. They're not being, there's no threat to their false self-images. So when a person chooses to just be like a sponge and soak up everything that the narcissist and the cluster B personality is doing that is toxic and negative, well, the narcissist can, and the cluster B personality, they can keep on whistling and walking through the park and enjoying themselves. And often they do. While the other person is like a sponge, soaking up all of the toxicity. They're internalizing everything. They're carrying the weight of the dysfunctional relationship with the narcissist and cluster B personality. The cluster B personality and narcissist, they're not worried about the aftermath of a dysfunctional relationship because they're having too much fun influencing it. So when those unpleasant emotions and thoughts arise, don't beat yourself up. Express in a constructive manner what you have experienced. It's best to be authentic rather than forcing yourself to be positive, especially when you're being bombarded with all these shenanigans that's being pulled by the narcissist and cluster B personality. And yes, sometimes these are individuals who are closest to us. Sometimes they're the ones who have the cluster B personality or the narcissistic personality disorder. Sometimes it's them. Sometimes it's a combination of both. Sometimes it's people on your job. Sometimes it's people you go to school with. Sometimes it's people that you socialize with and family members. I think most of us have experienced it that way. You know, you have it on your professional side as well as your personal side. The cluster B personality and narcissists are there. Okay, now this doesn't mean that you are small and feeble and helpless. No, this means that your shine, okay, is being noticed. And some people, like the narcissist and cluster B personality, they don't want to see your shine. They don't want to see it. They want to partake of it, but they don't want to support you in it. In other words, the narcissist and the cluster B personality, they really like to control others when they see their shine or their star power rather than to support them in their star power and their shine. The narcissist and the cluster B personality, they don't do healthy relationships. When they see others shine, okay, they want to get busy on controlling that person rather than supporting the person when they're shining. When great things are happening for you, notice the narcissist becomes jealous. Notice the narcissist wants to knock you down a peg or two. This is no accident. You're not to outshine him or her. The narcissist and the cluster B personality, in their eyes, no one is to outshine him or her. And when that happens, there's a threat to their false self-image. There's a challenge to their false self-image. And they have to get busy on doing what they need to do to make sure that you're not outshining him or her. Okay? So that's what that's all about. That's not your fault, by the way. So, you know, sometimes you may feel apprehensive about expressing yourself because you want the relationship between yourself and the narcissist or cluster B personality to be okay. You want some peace. You want their validation, their love. You may be that person right now who still wants the validation. You still desire the narcissist and or cluster B personality in a positive way. Okay, don't beat yourself up for that. However, I just want to encourage you to balance being authentic with being positive by taking off the rose-colored glasses and expressing what you have experienced in a constructive way. Take off those rose-colored glasses and see the narcissist for who they are, okay? And see what they represent, which is usually dysfunction and toxicity. Let's move forward. Narcissists and or cluster B personalities count on others to feel guilty and or ashamed of expressing their displeasure with him or her, unless it narcissistically supplies them. For instance, if one chooses to express themselves by becoming reactionary, the narcissist usually approves. So if you become reactionary, okay, and all of us, we've slipped up, don't beat yourself up, right? So when you become reactionary, this shows that you are out of control. And then the narcissist feels that they are controlling you. The narcissist looks at it like this. If you're not in control, they are. That's how they look at it. So they control you. They want that strong sense of control. They want that strong sense of entitlement to maintain, to remain, to continue to be active. So when you are being reactionary, you're only showing him or her that, yes, they have the control and you don't. So it's very tough. It's very challenging. It's not impossible, though, to express what you have experienced in a constructive way. In other words, practice emotional discipline. This keeps the narcissist starving. They have to go elsewhere for the supply. Once they see that you are in control of your emotions, you take full responsibility for your emotional state and everything else in your life. You take full responsibility for how you conduct yourself and how you live your life. The narcissist and the cluster personality, it is a nightmare to him or her, or for him or her, when you begin to practice emotional discipline. Therefore, you are not becoming reactionary. The narcissist and the cluster personality, they don't want to see that, because that is a sure sign that they are no longer controlling you, that you are in control. So it's game over for them, and it's a game changer for you. Let's move forward. By choosing to balance authenticity with positivity can be challenging, yet personally rewarding. Narcissists and those with a cluster personality like to feel and think that they are in control of everyone and everything. Let's move forward. However, by facing reality and being open to expressing what you experience in the dysfunctional relationship with a narcissist, you balance authenticity with positivity. Okay, so this is how you're going to balance that. You're being for real, yet you're being positive. That is because you are expressing what you are experiencing in a dysfunctional relationship with a narcissist or cluster personality. So narcissists and cluster personalities, when they get busy on pulling shenanigans, yes, they want to see that you are out of control. They want to see that you're out of balance. They want to make sure you're knocked off your square. That's what helps them to thrive. That's what helps them to survive. Let's move forward. Tool number 1. Practice personal boundaries, assertion, emotional discipline, and self-preservation without explanation or apology. Defending and honoring your life without apology is a choice of which the narcissist and or cluster personality hasn't any influence. Practicing mindfulness is a positive way to express your authenticity. Let's move on to the next tool. Take steps to let go of attempting to control everything all of the time. This can cause unnecessary toxic amounts of stress. Dealing with those who have a personality disorder does not constitute attempting to be positive all of the time in order to constructively cope with that reality. When you take steps to express what you have experienced, again, you are balancing positivity with being authentic. So when you attempt to control everything all of the time, that shows the narcissist that you are out of control. You're not on your square. You're out of balance. And they like that. So simply by letting go, okay, so what does that look like? You're not trying to control the narcissist. You're not focused on trying to get them to see your point of view. You're not trying to change them. You're not trying to control them. You are letting that go. You're focused on your own path. You're focused on your own journey. You're focused on your own healing because you're working your support base. It's a change of pace, really, when you look at it, and it feels better. You're not stressed out because you're arguing back and forth. You're in a fight with the narcissist and cluster personality, and it's emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, and even energetically draining because you're in a tug of war with him or her. That's exactly what they want. So when you just let go, see, now you're in control. Even though sometimes some people who are observing this, they may not think you're in control, but you are, because you have simply awakened to some of the shenanigans that the narcissist and the cluster personality pulls, and that is the gaslight technique. That is also a diabolical tactic in order to obtain the narcissistic supply from you. See, you've gotten hip to the game now. All right, so now you're not playing their game on their terms. You're creating your own rules, your own terms. And now you're beating them at their own game simply by letting go and discontinuing trying to control everything and everyone all the time. That's impossible. The narcissist and the cluster personality wants you to continue to be in that tug of war with him or her. Because as long as you're doing that, you're showing them that they are in control and you're out of control. You're not on your square. You're knocked off balance and you're being pulled down into that sunken place. That's where they want you. So let go. Let go of attempting to control everything and everyone all the time. Focus on what you need to do in order to thrive forward. So when you are under a toxic amount of stress, your health is going to be compromised. And more than likely, you're not going to feel very confident about being assertive. When you practice assertion, that means you are able to express what you have experienced verbally as well as physically and emotionally, spiritually. See, you got it on lock. You got it. When you are expressing yourself and you're being assertive, that's very powerful. You're not being aggressive. You're being assertive. And the narcissist, that's a nightmare to him or her. To the cluster personality, that's a nightmare. Because that shows them that you are in control of yourself and they're not in control of you anymore. This is why they usually dial it up a notch or they turn up when it comes to the shenanigans. As soon as you're starting to get better, as soon as you're starting to make progress in your healing, this is often why the shenanigans start to increase from the narcissist and cluster personality at that time. This is exactly why. Because you're showing yourself to be a person who is no longer being controlled by the narcissist and the cluster personality. So when you're dealing with the narcissist and cluster personality, this does not mean that you have to attempt or force yourself to be positive all the time in the way that we know positivity. I just gave you a fresh look or a different look on what positivity looks like. That is when you're balancing being authentic with being positive because you're expressing what you have experienced without apology or explanation. And you're doing it in a constructive manner. You have a support base. You're going to people. You're going somewhere else where there's more positivity. There's support for you. This is exactly why in many of my videos I really advocate the support base. Especially when you're talking about thriving forward. Because the narcissist and the cluster personality, they will poke holes or they will demolish your support base if you permit it. All right, next tool. Give yourself permission to express what you have and are currently experiencing. By taking off the rose-colored glasses, you are being realistic about your circumstances or situation, whereas it pertains to the narcissist and or cluster personality. Authenticity or being for real is usually more effective than just attempting to be positive for the sake of being positive. These are the references and resources. Please check out the description box below for the references and resources. Hi, I'm Luminousz Star. I want to thank everyone for joining me today or tonight. And of course, wherever you are right now, I wish you the very best love possible. Everyone who's decided to join the Luminousz Star family, welcome to Luminousz Star. And please don't forget to select the notification bell. That way, all the videos that come out, you'll be the first to know. On that note, just a friendly reminder, every Sunday and every Thursday, there are new videos that are coming out. So I want to thank everyone, my stars especially. Thank you guys and gals so much. And stay tuned for more vlogs and stay tuned for more videos.